It was so good to welcome people back to worship here at Christ Lutheran Church with on-campus worship. We had 3 worship services this past Sunday on Father's Day. We worshiped at 8:30, 9:30, and 10:30 a.m. We had about 25 to 30 people at each worship service. The good news is there's lots of room left. It felt comfortable inside. It feels safe the way that we are reopening. So we have indoor worship. We had some folks go outside to our new patio area, which is very airy and comfortable, just a little bit warm, and it might be warm on the patio again this weekend, but then it should cool down the week after that. So thanks for supporting us. Thanks for coming back to worship here at Christ Lutheran Church, and thank you for following our Phase 1 protocols. We are simply trying to be as safe as we possibly can. We are beginning to think now about Phase 1.5. How do we do that once we get worship opened up? We will be doing Sunday school again in Phase 1.5. We need to figure out how to do Sunday school at both 9:30 and 10:30. And then also I would like to do an adult Bible study in Phase 1.5 here on campus. Invite folks to join me on campus, and then we will live stream that Bible study also for the folks who are stuck at home still, and they can join us for a live stream Bible study, and then that will be put onto our webpage as a recorded video. So we've got some really great things we're looking at for the future. At 10:30, we live stream our worship service. We had a few technical issues. This was the first time out. The band sounded pretty good. My audio was not so good. I listened into another church that was streaming on Sunday. The pastor was pretty good, but the band's sound was really bad. So we're working on it, and I anticipate much of that will be fixed by this weekend. Our series is This is Jesus, His Words and Deeds That Bring Real Life. We're looking at the Sermon on the Mount. Before we move into the Gospel of John, we're going to do a little bit more on the Sermon on the Mount. The Bible verse I gave you on Sunday was this: "In the same way, let your light shine before men and women, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven." That would be Matthew 5, verse 16. 3 points. We've got a light, we should let it shine. A part of being a light is to do good deeds, and it all glorifies our Father in heaven. So Jesus is talking about what you do in this life as a follower of His, as a Christian, and the question is, how much do you have to do? We're going to talk about that this week. We're going to go a little bit further in the Sermon on the Mount. How good do you have to be? If you follow along in that great Bible verse that we use at all baptisms, you get to verse 17 and 18. And it sounds a little tough. It's going to be a rough time to be good enough and to do everything. "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth, not until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished." In the old King James Version, it says, "There won't be a jot or a tittle removed from the law." And in the original language, those were rough breathing marks, little bitty pronunciation guides. Jesus says the law is so important that you can't change any of it. So how good do you have to be? There's a lot of rules to follow in this world. There's particularly a lot of rules to follow at a time of pandemic. Are you following the rules? Are you good enough? There's lots of passionate causes out there in the world today. Wouldn't you agree? Which one do you have to support? Which one do you have to lift up as the one important cause? And are you good enough if you do that? So we're going to talk further on Sunday about the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus says, let your light shine, do good deeds, glorify your Father in heaven. And by the way, nothing's going to be removed from the law. So how do you get to heaven? How can you be good enough? Join us Sunday. We'll talk about that. We'll see you then.